Let's start with something you probably do every night without even thinking about it. You lie down, you close your eyes, and then, at some mysterious point, you're just gone. Blacked out, consciousness off, right? But what if that off switch isn't what it seems? Most of us assume that sleep is a kind of nothingness, that it's just a rest period. Your body goes limp, your brain powers down, and you float in dreamland until morning. But that's one of the biggest misunderstandings about human existence. What really happens the moment you black out is far more incredible, and maybe even a little unsettling, than anyone ever told you. Because here's the truth: when you fall asleep, your body rests, but your soul begins one of the most important and active journeys of your entire day. Let that sink in. That feeling you get right before you drift off, your breath deepening, your muscles letting go, that odd sensation of falling or slipping into the bed, it's not just biology. That's the moment your consciousness begins to disconnect from your physical body. And that's when things get interesting. While your body stays behind, still and quiet, your soul moves. It travels, it explores, it enters states and dimensions your waking brain can't even begin to comprehend. You might think of sleep as wasted time, but you actually spend about 1/3 of your life doing it. That's 25 years out of a 75-year lifespan. Do you really think nature would design something so inefficient? Of course not. Those 8 hours every night are crucial, not just for rest, but for healing, connection, and spiritual evolution. Maybe, as a kid, you woke up sometimes feeling like you'd just lived an entire life in a single night. Maybe you've had dreams so vivid, so intense, they felt more real than waking life. Well, maybe they were. Those weren't just dreams. They were fragments, echoes, of experiences your soul actually lived in other planes of existence. During sleep, your essence, the real you, steps outside of the limitations of your body and enters a much bigger, much stranger world. It's like you spend your waking life staring out of a tiny window, and every night, the walls fall away. And here's something even more fascinating. Your soul never actually sleeps. While your brain slows down, while your senses fade, your spiritual self kicks into high gear. It moves fast, it learns, it heals, it receives insights, downloads, warnings, sometimes even messages from beings of higher consciousness. Ever wake up with the solution to a problem that's been haunting you for days, or with a strange but powerful gut feeling you just know you need to follow? That wasn't random. That was your soul doing its work and bringing the message back with it. Because during sleep, the filters of reality are down. Your consciousness isn't limited to the 5 senses anymore. You gain access to things that can't be reached in waking life. It's as if, for a few precious hours, you're holding a key to a vast cosmic library. You can consult with guides. You can receive healing. You can even influence future events. And the best part? It happens whether you realize it or not, every night. But once you do realize it, once you become aware of what's truly happening when you fall asleep, your entire relationship with sleep changes. You stop seeing it as downtime and start seeing it as an opportunity. Because when you understand what your soul is doing while you sleep, your life during the day will never be the same. Let's zoom in on one very specific moment, the exact instant you fall asleep. You've probably felt it before. That strange sensation like you're falling or sinking deeper into your mattress. Your whole body feels like it's slipping, your thoughts scatter, and then, boom, you're gone. But here's the thing, that falling feeling. It's not just your body relaxing, it's something much deeper. That sensation is actually the beginning of a profound spiritual process, your soul starting to separate from your physical body. And it doesn't happen all at once. It's not like flipping a light switch, it's a gradual shift, a process that unfolds in stages. The first stage, your 5 senses begin to shut off. You stop hearing the hum of the fan. The coolness of the air against your skin fades, the weight of the blankets disappears. It's like someone is slowly turning down the volume on reality itself. Meanwhile, here's the wild part. Your spiritual senses are ramping up. As your physical awareness dims, your non-physical awareness expands. You're slipping out of the dense shell of your body and into something much lighter, much more fluid. This is where what ancient spiritual traditions called etheric separation begins. During the day, your soul is tightly bound to your body, like a diver strapped into a heavy suit. But at night, the straps start to loosen. That tightness eases, and eventually, you step out. If you've ever felt like you were floating above your body, or had a dream so intense it felt like you left somewhere and returned, you've brushed up against this stage. Some people are more sensitive to this transition. For them, it's not subtle, it's vivid. Like floating above the bed, drifting through walls, or watching themselves sleep from the ceiling. Others don't remember a thing. But make no mistake, the separation still happens. And the depth of that separation? It can vary too. At the most shallow level, your soul hovers just above your body. This is where most typical dreams take place, the ones filled with strange symbols, familiar people, and weird locations that don't quite make sense. They're like echoes of your waking life, jumbled with your subconscious. But when the separation goes deeper, when your soul fully disconnects, it's a whole different story. Now you're not dreaming, you're traveling. In these deeper states, the normal laws of physics just don't apply anymore. You can move instantly across the world, walk through walls, visit people, places, even realities that don't exist on this plane. Flying dreams, teleporting dreams, conversations with mysterious beings or visits to dazzling, unearthly landscapes. Yeah, those aren't dreams. Those are experiences your soul is actually having while free from the body. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. When your consciousness is no longer restricted by the physical brain, it can expand in ways most of us can't even imagine. You might remember past lives, pick up knowledge about future events, even connect, directly and intuitively, with other souls doing the same thing. This isn't fantasy. It's what happens when you tap into higher levels of awareness, and it's happening all the time, every night, to people all over the world. But how does your soul come back? Enter the silver cord. This is your lifeline, a subtle, energetic tether that keeps you connected to your body no matter how far you travel. Think of it like a spiritual bungee cord, stretching as far as needed, but always guiding you back to your physical self by morning. And no, it's not metaphorical. Sensitive people can actually see the silver cord, and it's been documented in spiritual texts across countless traditions for thousands of years. The cord ensures you don't get lost, that no matter how far your soul journeys, there's always a clear way home. And yes, you do come home. Every single night. Even if you don't remember a thing. But some people, they can remember. They can even stay conscious throughout the entire process, on purpose. We'll get to that soon. Because once you understand this process, the separation, the travel, the return, you start to realize, sleep isn't the end of the day. It's just the beginning of a whole other life. So now you know, every time you fall asleep, something incredible is happening behind the scenes. You're not just resting, you're shifting, separating. Your soul is stepping beyond the boundaries of your body and entering a vast, multi-layered reality. But where exactly does your soul go? Let's break it down. There are actually different levels of separation. And depending on how deep your soul goes, your experiences can range from fuzzy dream fragments to full-blown, multi-dimensional journeys. At the most basic level, your soul hovers just above your physical body, maybe only a few inches away. This is where typical dreams happen, the kind that feel familiar but don't always make sense. Maybe you're walking through your house, but the layout is strange. Or you're talking to someone you know, but they're saying things they never would in real life. This level blends your subconscious mind with light soul travel. Your soul hasn't gone far, but it's already disconnected enough to start pulling in messages, symbols, and reflections of your internal world. But when the separation deepens, everything changes. At a deeper level of astral travel, Your soul is no longer tethered to your immediate environment. You're now operating beyond the rules of physical reality. You can pass through walls, move at the speed of thought, visit people you love, or maybe people you've never met in this lifetime. You can walk into scenes from past lives. You can even visit future versions of yourself. In this state, it's common to have what feels like impossible dreams, ones where you're flying, underwater without breathing, or traveling across space with no effort. And they feel real, because, in a sense, they are. They're not just memories or fantasies. They're lived experiences your soul is having, outside the confines of the body. But there's more. When your soul separates deeply, something amazing begins to happen, a massive expansion of consciousness. You might remember things you never learned, understand ideas you never studied, sense connections between people, places, and timelines you've never explored. You may even communicate telepathically with other souls also journeying through this realm. And still, through all of this, one thing remains constant: the silver cord. This energetic thread connects your soul to your body. It's your anchor. No matter how far you roam, no matter how high you rise in consciousness, the silver cord makes sure you can always return. It's said to pulse with your heart's frequency, almost like an energetic heartbeat between body and soul. In people who are physically and spiritually healthy, the cord shines bright, strong, flexible, and full of light. But in people going through illness, trauma, or emotional collapse, it can look dimmer, weaker, frayed. The cord is sensitive to what you carry emotionally. If you go to sleep full of fear, anger, or anxiety, it reflects that energy, and your soul's journey may be affected. You might encounter confusion, or attract lower vibrational experiences, and when you wake, you'll feel it: fatigue, mood swings, or that strange off feeling that lingers all day. But if you go to sleep with love, gratitude, and peace, your soul rises faster, travels further, receives more. This is why emotional preparation before sleep matters. And here's the next level. Some people train themselves to remain fully conscious during this process. Instead of blacking out, they ride the transition. They stay aware as their body relaxes and their soul begins to lift. They enter the astral world intentionally, not as passengers, but as pilots. Through practices like meditation, breathwork, and intention setting, you can learn to do this too. It's a real skill. And when you start exploring your sleep as a sacred spiritual journey, your entire relationship with nighttime transforms. You stop thinking of sleep as checking out and start seeing it as logging in, because that's what it is. Every night is an invitation to heal, to grow, to explore, and to remember who you really are, beyond the name, the body, the thoughts. And this is just the beginning. So now we know that sleep isn't just rest, it's a journey. And your soul doesn't just float aimlessly through space when you fall asleep. It moves with purpose. It travels through layers of reality, each one with its own rules, energies, and lessons. Let's dive into the three main planes your soul can access during sleep. First, the physical etheric plane. This is the closest to our everyday world. You can think of it as a slightly expanded version of physical reality, familiar but off. Like the same map, but drawn in slightly different ink. Here, the laws of physics still mostly apply, but things aren't exactly as they are in waking life. Maybe you find yourself in your childhood home, but it has rooms that never existed. Or you're talking to an old friend, but the conversation feels strangely symbolic. These are clues. Your soul is exploring the etheric version of your life. It's here that the most normal feeling dreams occur. The kind that make you question whether something really happened or not. The kind where you wake up and think, wait, didn't I already have this conversation? Here's the fascinating part. The etheric plane isn't just yours. You can run into other souls here. Friends, family, even strangers. If they're sleeping and close to your vibration, it's possible to meet. Ever dreamt of someone, then found out they dreamed of you too? That's not coincidence. That's a shared experience in the etheric field. Next, the intermediate astral plane. This is where things get surreal. In the astral, thought becomes form. Emotion becomes landscape. Desire becomes reality. This plane is built from intention, yours and others. If you think of being somewhere, you're there. If you imagine something, it appears instantly. Here's where you live out those wild, impossible adventures. The ones where you fly, fall, fight monsters, or become the hero of your own myth. These experiences aren't random. They're mirrors, reflections of what your soul is processing. Old wounds, emotional blocks, hidden fears. All of it gets played out here. The intermediate astral is like a stage where your subconscious and spiritual self work things out in real time. But it's not just you. This plane is crowded. There are other beings here. Some are just like you, souls exploring, learning, growing. Some are spirits of the dead who haven't moved on. And some aren't human at all. Not every entity here is friendly. Some feed on fear, on sadness, on anger. They stir up nightmares, amplify anxiety, and pull you into scenarios that provoke intense emotions, because that's their food source. Ever had a dream where you were being chased, attacked, or manipulated, and woke up feeling like you hadn't slept at all? That wasn't just a dream. That was a soul-level encounter. But again, awareness is power. And we'll talk more about protection soon. Finally, the higher mental plane. This is the rarest and most transformative of the three. Up here you don't really dream, you download. This is where your soul accesses what many call the Akashic Records, a vast field of cosmic memory containing everything that's ever happened or could happen. In this state, you might not remember detailed stories, but you wake up changed, clearer, calmer, inspired. You might suddenly know something you've never studied, or feel total peace about something that's been tormenting you. Many of history's greatest minds, Tesla, Einstein, even Edison, spoke of receiving breakthroughs in their dreams. This is where those moments happen. And yes, your soul can meet higher beings here. Guides, masters, or even your higher self. These aren't just fragments of imagination. They're real contacts with real intelligences, operating beyond physical space and time. Here's what's amazing. Your soul doesn't just pick one plane and stay there. Throughout the night, it moves between them, based on your emotional state, your spiritual development, and your soul's specific needs at that moment. If you're emotionally raw, you may stay longer in the astral. If you're ready for big downloads, you'll rise into the higher mental. And if you've had a stressful day, you might linger in the physical etheric, processing tension through more ordinary dreamscapes. All of it is valid. All of it is useful. And once you start recognizing where your soul goes each night, you begin to use your sleep instead of just passively slipping through it. So what's next? Let's take a deeper look at the silver cord, that mysterious, shimmering tether that ensures you always return safely to your body by morning. So far, we've talked about how your soul separates from your body during sleep, and the planes it travels through on its nightly adventures. But one question remains. If your soul can go so fast, so deep, so fast, how does it ever come back? The answer lies in one of the most fascinating and mysterious aspects of the spiritual world. It's called the silver cord. This isn't just a poetic symbol or a metaphor. The silver cord is a real energetic structure, described across cultures, religions, and spiritual traditions for thousands of years. It connects your soul to your physical body, like an invisible umbilical cord, a lifeline, a glowing thread of energy that ensures no matter how far your soul travels, it always has a way home. You may have even felt it before. Ever wake up with that sudden jerk? Like you were yanked back into your body from somewhere far away? That's your silver cord pulling you back. Mission complete. Time to return. So what does the silver cord look like? Well, it varies. Sensitive people, Those who've trained in astral projection or spiritual vision report seeing it as a glowing thread, often silvery white or bluish. Some say it connects near the solar plexus, others say the heart. It pulses with your unique energy signature, and like anything energetic, its appearance can change based on your state of being. If you're physically and emotionally well, grounded, peaceful, spiritually aligned, the cord appears bright, strong, flexible. But if you're exhausted, anxious, sick, or emotionally imbalanced, the cord may look dim, frayed, knotted, or even thin. In a very real sense, the health of your silver cord reflects the health of your soul-body connection. But here's where it gets deeper. The silver cord isn't indestructible. It can be damaged. Extreme emotional trauma, sudden accidents, drug use, or high levels of energetic interference can weaken it. In rare cases, such as during near-death experiences, it can be stretched to the absolute limit, and if it ever snaps completely, that's what we call physical death. Spiritual traditions have long taught that death doesn't happen when the heart stops. It happens when the silver cord is permanently severed. And that severing isn't always instant. Sometimes it happens slowly, over hours or even days, like during coma states or the final stages of life. The soul begins to drift. The cord begins to fray, until finally the connection is gone. But short of death, what happens when the cord is partially damaged? That's when things get weird. You might wake up feeling completely out of it, like you're not fully back in your body. You might have extremely vivid dreams, experience déjà vu all day, or feel like part of you is still out there. Some people report moments of spontaneous floating, dizziness, or even partial out-of-body sensations during the day, especially after emotional upheaval. Have you ever woken up and felt like it took a full minute to land back in your skin? Like your body and soul weren't quite aligned? That's a silver cord under stress. And here's something wild. During intense trauma, the soul can temporarily disconnect, even in waking life. That's why some people describe feeling outside themselves during accidents or emotional breakdowns. It's a protective mechanism, but it's also a sign that the cord is being stretched. And now, the most disturbing part. There are entities out there, what some call energy vampires or astral parasites, that target the silver cord. More on them later, but for now just know, these beings can attempt to attach themselves to your cord, not to break it, but to drain it. You'll feel it when it happens. You'll sleep 8 hours, but wake up more exhausted than when you went to bed. You feel inexplicably heavy. Your dreams are chaotic, anxious, or oppressive. You may even wake up with physical sensations, tightness in the chest, numbness, or in rare cases, bruises or scratches. This is why spiritual hygiene matters. Protecting your energy before sleep is just as important as getting good rest. The silver cord is strong, yes, but it's also sacred. It carries every experience your soul gathers at night back into the body, lessons, healing, insight. All of it flows through that thread. When it's clean and healthy, your nights become portals of transformation. When it's compromised, sleep becomes survival. But here's the good news. You can strengthen your cord through emotional healing, through gratitude, through spiritual practices like meditation, energy work, and visualization, through forgiveness, prayer, breathwork. The stronger your cord, the more resilient your soul. The farther it can travel, the more it can bring back. And that's what we're after, because once your silver cord is strong, you're ready to face the next challenge, the hidden threat of astral parasites and how to protect yourself from them. So far, we've talked about the soul's journey during sleep, the beautiful, enlightening, transformative side of the experience. But now, we need to shift focus. Because while your soul is out there traveling, learning, and healing, not everything it encounters is friendly. In fact, some things are downright dangerous. Let's talk about astral parasites. These are real entities, not imagination, not symbolic, not just figments of a wild dream. They are energetic beings that live in the lower frequencies of the astral realm, and they feed on something very specific: human emotional energy. More specifically, negative emotional energy, fear, rage, despair, anxiety, depression. The stronger the emotion, the more nourishing it is to them. Have you ever slept a full night but woken up feeling absolutely drained? Like your spirit ran a marathon in the dark. Or maybe you've had a string of intense nightmares that leave you sweating, anxious, or even scared to fall asleep again. That's not random. That can be a sign that you've been targeted. Astral parasites are clever. They don't just wait for energy, they create situations that provoke it. They influence your dreams, constructing elaborate, terrifying scenarios designed to stir your deepest fears or traumas. Imagine you're peacefully asleep, and suddenly you're trapped in a nightmare, being chased, falling, confronting something that fills you with dread. That surge of terror? That's real energy. And to them, it's dinner. But it goes deeper. Some of these entities are specialized. There are ones that feed exclusively on fear of death, others that focus on anger, guilt, or sexual shame. Each one has its own methods of inducing these feelings, like spiritual parasites with unique feeding preferences. And then there are the more serious cases, energy vampires. Unlike parasites that feed on emotions, energy vampires go straight for the source. They attach directly to your life force, often through your silver cord, and siphon off your vitality. These are the ones that leave you feeling foggy, chronically tired, or even physically ill after sleep. You may wake up with muscle pain, tension in the chest, or unexplained scratches or bruises. And no, this isn't just sleep paralysis or dream distortion. These are real energetic disturbances, which brings us to sleep paralysis and its dark side. If you've ever woken up completely conscious but unable to move, while feeling a dark presence in the room that wasn't just a brain glitch. Many people report seeing shadowy figures, feeling weight on their chest, hearing strange voices or breathing. That oppressive presence. It's often the calling card of an astral parasite or vampiric entity. It immobilizes you with fear, because fear is exactly what it feeds on. So why are some people more affected than others? Here's the truth. Your emotional state is like a beacon. If you're living with constant stress, unresolved trauma, suppressed rage, grief, or fear, you're sending out a signal, a frequency that says, "Hey, energy source available here." And they listen. They're drawn to that signature. Substances like drugs and alcohol can also weaken your energetic field, making it easier for these entities to attach. Same with deep emotional trauma, chronic negative thinking, or being surrounded by toxic environments. Even your home matters. Places with a lot of conflict, arguments, sadness, illness, can hold residual energy that attracts and holds astral parasites. Hospitals, cemeteries, battlefields, and old buildings with dark histories. Often hotspots. If you're sleeping in one of these places, or living in one, you may feel it. The heaviness, the unshakable tension, the nightmares. And here's the most disturbing part. These entities don't just affect your sleep. They can begin to influence your thoughts and emotions during the day. Subtly, quietly. They whisper self-doubt. They amplify fear. They provoke reactions that create more of the emotional energy they crave. In extreme cases, they even mimic people you trust, appearing in dreams as deceased loved ones or spiritual figures, only to twist the message and create confusion or emotional distress. And if they manage to create an energetic cord, a parasitic link between you and them, that connection can persist for years, even decades, draining you continuously. Children are especially vulnerable. Their energy is pure, bright, potent. That's why many kids resist sleeping alone. They cry about monsters in the room. They describe shadows or strange voices. They're not imagining it. They're sensing what most adults have forgotten how to feel. So, how do you fight back? You start by acknowledging that this world exists. That awareness alone reduces your vulnerability by half. You stop being prey. And then, you prepare. In the next section, we're diving deep into spiritual protection. What works, what doesn't, and how to build an energetic fortress around your body, your soul, and your sleep. Now that you know what's really out there, the beauty and the danger, it's time to learn how to protect yourself. Because here's the truth. Spiritual protection during sleep is not optional. It's essential, especially if you want your soul to journey freely, safely, and purposefully each night. Let's break it down. Step 1. Purify your environment. Your bedroom isn't just a place for sleep. It's an energetic portal. Whatever energies linger in that space, memories, emotions, even objects, can either support or disrupt your soul's nightly experience. Start simple. Remove anything that carries negative emotional charge. That includes gifts from people who hurt you, photos tied to past trauma, objects that stir regret, resentment, or sadness. Your space should feel calm, clean, and clear. Then, cleanse the energy. Try burning white sage, Palo Santo, or frankincense. You can also spray a mix of water and sea salt into the corners of the room, or simply open the windows to let fresh air circulate. Even 10 minutes of clean air and intentional tidying shifts the vibration. And here's a powerful addition: crystals. Place protective stones near your bed, especially in the four corners of the room. Here are some of the best. Amethyst raises spiritual vibration. Black tourmaline blocks negativity. Rose quartz brings comfort and love. Obsidian cuts through energetic cords and shields against attachment. Step 2. Personal energy. Before sleep, cleanse your own field. A great technique is the white light visualization. Close your eyes and imagine a bright, pure light descending from above your head, slowly enveloping your entire body. Let it glow around you like a cocoon, warm, strong, impenetrable. Picture it pushing out any darkness, tension, or fear. Stay in that light for at least 5 minutes. Breathe deeply. Let the feelings settle in. This one ritual alone can shift the kind of dreams you have and the kind of entities you attract. Step 3. Call in protection. You don't have to do this alone. You can call upon whatever higher power you believe in. God, your guides, your ancestors, the universe itself. Prayer, in any form, is one of the most effective tools for spiritual safety. It signals your soul's readiness and your right to be protected. Here's a simple but powerful prayer you can say before bed. I ask for divine protection as I sleep. May only beings of light and love approach me. May my soul be guided to experiences that serve my highest growth. May I be shielded from all negativity, seen and unseen. You can personalize it. What matters is the intention behind it. Step 4. Create a shield around your bed. Visualization is powerful. Imagine a glowing bubble around your bed, silver or gold, filled with light. It surrounds you completely, above, below, and on all sides. This bubble isn't just decorative. It's a filter. Only positive energy can enter. Negative forces bounce off it like a wall. If you do this consistently, night after night, your subconscious will start recognizing it as a signal. I am safe now. Step 5. The water trick. Place a glass of water with a pinch of sea salt near your bed. Why? Because water absorbs energy. That glass becomes a silent sponge for anything heavy, chaotic, or dark that might otherwise cling to you. In the morning, don't drink it. Pour it down the toilet, not the sink or plants, and refill it fresh for the next night. You'd be surprised how much difference this tiny ritual makes. Step 6. Master your emotions. Before sleep, this may be the most important step of all. Never go to bed angry, afraid, resentful, or filled with tension. These emotions are like energetic beacons. They act like invitations to exactly the kinds of entities you want to avoid. So if you've had a rough day, take time to unwind your emotions. Write in a journal. Meditate. Forgive someone. Watch something light and inspiring. Just breathe. And most importantly, practice gratitude. Think of at least 3 things that went right today, even if they're small. Feel the thankfulness in your chest. Let it radiate. Gratitude is one of the highest frequencies you can emit. Parasites can't feed in that field. Step 7. Establish a bedtime ritual. Your soul thrives on rhythm and recognition. So create a ritual, something you repeat each night that tells your body and spirit, we're safe, we're aligned, we're ready. This might include burning incense, reading a few pages of a spiritual book, taking a warm bath with salt, doing breathwork for 5 minutes. Ritual anchors your intention. It tells your subconscious to stand guard. Emergency technique if you sense a threat during sleep. Whether in a dream, in sleep paralysis, or even if you wake up feeling watched, use this phrase, I am light, I am love, I am protected. Say it mentally or out loud with all your focus. Repeat it again and again with conviction. This statement isn't just words, it's a frequency, one that immediately shifts your field and breaks most lower energy attacks on contact. You are not powerless in this world. In fact, you are more powerful than anything you will encounter in the dreamscape. Your awareness, your intention, and your inner light are your greatest shields. But as the veil continues to thin, and as more people awaken to their nightly journeys, the importance of conscious protection only grows. Because in the final chapter, we're stepping into something even bigger, why this awakening is happening now, and what it means for the future of humanity. Here we are, at the most important part of this entire revelation. Because none of this is happening by accident. Not your interest in this topic, not your timing in discovering it, not even your dreams, your nightmares, or your strange feelings upon waking. There's a reason this is happening now. We are in the midst of a massive shift in consciousness. Something is changing, not just within individuals, but across the entire planet. You can feel it. Maybe subtly, maybe strongly, but it's there. A rising hum beneath the surface of daily life. A pulse. And that pulse is quickening. Humanity is waking up. We're beginning to remember that we are more than just bodies, more than thoughts, more than stress, schedules, and routines. We're remembering that we are souls with purpose, power, and potential. And nowhere is this awakening more obvious than in what's happening during our sleep. People who have never had spiritual experiences are suddenly having vivid dreams, out-of-body moments, flashes of intuition, or encounters with light beings they can't explain. Children are describing visions. Adults are waking up changed. More and more people are reporting lucid dreams, downloads of knowledge, even past life memories. Why? Because the veil is thinning. The boundaries between the physical and spiritual are becoming more porous. The barriers that once separated the dream world from the waking world are dissolving. And with them, our old beliefs about what's real and what's possible are falling away. But here's the catch. This awakening isn't just happening on the side of the light. The darkness is also responding. Astral parasites, energy vampires, shadow entities, they're not blind to this change. They feed on unconsciousness, on fear, on confusion, on disconnection. And as more people begin to wake up, they're scrambling to hold on, to keep the old systems in place, to keep people distracted, emotionally destabilized, and energetically vulnerable. That's why attacks are increasing. That's why more people are reporting sleep paralysis, energy drain, or disturbing dreams than ever before. There is a spiritual battle happening, an invisible war between expansion and suppression, light and dark, truth and illusion. And the main battlefield, your consciousness. especially while you sleep. But here's the beautiful part. You have a choice. You can be unconscious, floating through the night unaware, unprotected, and unprepared. Or you can be awake. You can step into your dreams as a conscious explorer, a healer, a seeker, a warrior of light. You can use your sleep not just for rest, but for growth, for clarity, for alignment. Every night becomes a classroom, a temple, a battlefield, or a sanctuary, depending on how you enter it. And now that you've read all this, you know how to enter it. With intention, with preparation, with strength. Because here's what's really happening. You didn't find this video by chance. Your soul brought you here. Because you're ready. Ready to remember. Ready to reclaim the 8 hours of every day that you've been taught to ignore. Ready to become conscious in your unconscious world. This is your invitation. To protect yourself. To explore the realms. To meet your guides. To heal old wounds. To download divine wisdom. To step into your power. Every single night. And when you do, your life during the day changes too. You become more intuitive, more aligned, more creative, more peaceful, more you. Because your soul is no longer wandering in the dark. It's awake. And when enough of us do this, when enough of us take back our nights, we ignite something much bigger than personal growth. We accelerate the awakening of all humanity, one dream at a time. So if you've made it this far, let me say this clearly. Your soul is ready. You are not alone, and your nights will never be the same again. Now go dim the lights. Take a deep breath, set your intention, and get ready to remember who you really are. We'll see you on the other side.